Welcome back to New World Next Week. I'm James Corbett of CorbettReport.com.
I'm James Evan Pilato for MediaMonarchy.com. To those who have reached out directly, we sincerely thank you for your continued community engagement. We've got that story plus even more monkey-wrenching the New World Order. But first, Bill Gates worked to end livestock production and pushed lab-grown meat. This coming from the fine folks at ActivistPost.com. Bill Gates and food giant Tyson heavily backed lab-grown meat research as the U.S., of course, faces unprecedented meat shortages due to processing plants going offline in, of course, response to the COVID outbreak. A long-standing globalist agenda to halt meat consumption is now being fulfilled, like all the other police state dreams are being fulfilled just magically. Tyson Foods recently warned that the food supply chain is breaking. Lockdowns have created a situation in which farmers have nowhere to send their product, and in turn, millions of animals are being slaughtered, wasted. Vegetables that would normally end up on store shelves are rotting in the field. Lab-grown meat producers are hoping that the COVID-19 outbreak could boost public acceptance, as Bill Gates was working to establish a worldwide digital ID system prior to the pandemic. That would be ID 2020. He's also working to end meat production and funding lab-grown meat. 2019 report, I think it was by TechCrunch, said that lab-grown meat was projected to hit the store shelves by 2022. Now, we do have a related note to all that rotting food. Swamp Thing Readies bailout for nation's food suppliers. So more zeros and ones and debt and fiat money printed out of thin air. Gates' threat, the second, though, for this first segment. Bill Gates among 117 foreigners to be decorated by Japan. This coming from JapanToday.com. Microsoft co-founder Bill Gates will be among 117 foreigners recognized by the Japanese government in this year's spring decorations for their notable contributions to relations with Japan. Gates, 64, stepped down from his role as chairman of the U.S. tech giant in 2014. And actually, if you missed it, as a lot has been going on, just last month he left the boards of Microsoft, as well as his buddy Warren Buffett's Berkshire Hathaway, almost like he was getting prepared for a whole other sort of act, as it were. He's been focusing on so-called philanthropic activities. He will be bestowed with the Grand Cordon of the Order of the Rising Sun, the highest honor to be given in this spring's commendations. The 117 foreign recipients come from 57 countries and regions. The award ceremony, of course, was to be held next month in May at the Imperial Palace in Tokyo, has been postponed due to the spread of the coronavirus. James, there's another week of not great news coming out of Japan.
Yeah, I'm just a bit confused by this story, though, James. You mentioned this Bill Gates? Sorry, it doesn't ring a bell. I don't think I've ever heard of it. Oh, wait, right. Bill Gates, i.e. Mr. Plandemic, the man who is behind absolutely every bit of this agenda from start to finish, and everywhere you look, every rock that you pick up when it comes to the COVID world order, there is a Bill Gates related organization or person slithering out from under it. You cannot escape the influence of the Gates Foundation at this point. So yes, no surprise that he is also behind the agenda that has been playing out for several years now, but is obviously ramping up right at this moment to shift the world from eating actual food into eating processed, chemically produced, lab-grown garbage that will, newsflash, probably not be as good for you as eating actual food. And this is just another example of that. So again, no surprise whatsoever that Gates Funding is behind this. For people who want to know more about that agenda as it's unfolding, I'll direct them in the direction of Camille, a Corbett Report member who has a YouTube channel called Please Stop the Ride, and she's been doing a lot of videos on this subject about lab-grown meat and other such things that are being inserted into the food supply, sometimes not so overtly. It's some of it is quite overt, some of it is not so overt, and you'd be surprised how much food is already lab-grown nonsense, let alone what they plan to do with that agenda in the future. But on the note of our good old friend Bill Gates, now what is it, Order of the Rising Sun, whatever nonsense metal trinket garbage they're giving out here in Japan. And interestingly, I haven't dug into it, but at least the Japan Today article does not actually state specifically why he is receiving this medal, but one can imagine. But yes, on the notion of Bill Gates and his influence over absolutely everything that's going on right now, I am currently working on a series that will be starting to come out hopefully in the next couple of days. Anyway, you will know it when you see it, and when you do see it, not only do I, of course, encourage you to get it and to absorb it, but also please pass this information on. I don't think anything could be more important right now than deconstructing and hopefully derailing this Gates-driven agenda that's happening right now. I have a lot more to say about that, but stay tuned for more.
Well, I mean, he's almost sort of, and we're reminded of these different eras of the grand chessboard and the major moves that are made. Gates is, I mean, he's probably really maybe surpassed that sort of Rumsfeld level Luciferian where it's like, man, he's there, like the Rolling Stones sang about us. It's like he's there at every bad event that happened. James, I think it's really interesting to have all this Tyson Foods, all this stuff about the food system is going to break down. What they mean to say is the factory poison garbage food system is going to break down. And maybe if people ate local, in-season organic foods a little more often, again, we wouldn't maybe be in the baddest situation as we're in. I've been talking a lot on, of course, my Food World Order episodes about how places like Krispy Kreme donuts and McDonald's are giving away free meals to first responders, therefore giving you the sorts of conditions that are pretty much going to make you sick and make them have to call your death a COVID-related death. It's good to hear you mention Camille. She's actually a Media Monarchy member as well, James. And that is just the first frightening segment on this New World Next Week, episode 406 for the final day of April 2020. Now, this other sort of, holy crap, we are living in a Cronenberg movie. I know I seem to mention David Cronenberg a lot. His films just seem to be really fitting anymore. This other Bill Gates story. And his old homies at Microsoft, I think, really probably kind of deserves its own segment, James. That's coming from Cryptopolitan. And again, everything we say always included in the show notes. New Microsoft Bitcoin mining system set to transform BTC mining. This article sounds like they probably basically rewrote the Microsoft press release. The latest patent by Microsoft relates to a crypto mining system that rewards humans with cryptocurrency in lieu of performing physical tasks. The promising new Bitcoin mining system aims to lower computational power required to undertake the massive crypto mining operations whilst increasing processing speed. The patent document of Microsoft Bitcoin mining system sheds more light on the innovative concept that combines both health and crypto. Two horrible tastes that are going to taste pretty horrible together. Human bodily data is recorded when a person undertakes any sort of physical activity. The information is received in the form of either a body heat signal or a brainwave. For example, watching a video, a New World Next Week video. No, they won't give you credits for that one probably, but watching a video will generate a recordable brainwave, which will in turn be rewarded with an equivalent amount of cryptocurrency. James, maybe now, I guess in light of the lab-grown Soylent Green meat and this biometric crypto mining disaster, maybe the part about the Japan award doesn't seem so bad, eh?
Yeah, I guess it could be worse, like the implementation of a new social credit system that's automatic and functions on bodily functions and other things that are unconscious, as this patent goes on to state. And I hope people will go and read through the patent itself. It is illuminating in a number of respects, one of which is some of the specific examples they give of the type of user performance tasks that will generate this cryptocurrency, which of course will be some version of Libra or some Microsoft version of a permissioned, closed, centralized blockchain cryptocurrency, which is cryptocurrency